Okay, the gentleman here in the beard.
Thank you very much. I'm a Mr. Vinay Sufi, journalist from TV1 Kosovo. I have two questions, Mr. Secretary-General. Kosovo and Serbia have not yet resumed the dialogue, as Kosovo still does not have a new government, while Vučić is facing protest. What is your message to both sides should they return to the negotiation table? And the second question is, it has been 2 years since the attack in Banjska and 1 year in Iber-Lepans in Zubin Potok. We have the KFOR troops continue to provide security in the 4 northern municipalities, but how do you assess the current situation in the Kosovo? Thank you very much.
Well, as you know, on the second question, that for over 2 years we have consistently continued to call for accountability for the perpetrators of the attacks in both Zvečan and Banjska in 2023, to be brought to justice. My predecessor has worked on this with Aleksandar Vučić, the president of Serbia. I did myself. He told me that he would work on this, he would deliver. And we really count on the Serbian authorities to play their part in this respect. When it comes, of course, to the dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo and between Pristina and Belgrade, that's very much EU-led. We follow that closely, and of course NATO is involved indirectly through KFOR, and we try to be as helpful as possible also to that on that issue.
Okay, and then 2 more questions. Second row here.
Thank you very much. Ardy Stemering for NOS, the Dutch public broadcaster. Mr. Rutte, you were talking about a summit in Ankara, but to what extent do you actually believe that the current negotiations may result in a peace deal or a ceasefire soon?
It's difficult to say. I know that the Americans are doing everything they can to get there. Look at the numbers for a sec. We have seen now 20,000 Russians a month dying. We have seen enormous losses on the Ukrainian side. Ukrainians are mounting a fierce defense of their country, but there are many Ukrainians dying in the war. This is what President Trump called the meat grinder. It's got to stop. We have seen yesterday the footage of President Putin dressed up like a soldier, far from the front line. Really terrible footage. And knowing that he is responsible for 20,000 deaths each month on his side. So we've got to stop this. We've got to stop the meat grinder, and that's why I'm fully supportive of the American effort to get the war to an end. It's difficult to predict whether we will be successful. I can assure you that everybody on the Ukrainian side, NATO, and of course led by the Americans, is trying to get there, because we want this ended. But in the end, we need 2 to tango. So we also need the Russians to tango, and that's being tested at the moment. So it's difficult to predict.
Okay, and finally, table media, 4th row on the aisle.
Yes, Stefan Israel, Europe Table, thank you very much. My question is, Kaja Kallas yesterday warned after the Defense Council that pressure is only put on one side, on the weaker side, on Ukraine. Do you share this assessment or this warning? What can NATO do against it? And if there is a situation, it's quite well imaginable that Putin and Trump agree on a deal at the cost of Ukraine and maybe Europe and NATO. Would you still stand on the side of Ukraine then? Thank you.
But I have every confidence in what the Americans try to achieve. And you've seen Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco Rubio, both in Geneva as well as in Miami, working on getting this done together with the Ukrainians. They are now dialoguing with the Russians. They are constantly aligning with the Europeans and within NATO to make sure we are all on the same page. I cannot criticize that process at all. So to be honest, I'm not worried about that outcome you just mentioned. I think we can get there. But as I said to the last question here from the Dutch media, it needs 2 to tango. I think the Ukrainians, you see the Ukrainians wanting to play ball. They want to end this, and they are very appreciative of the American peace effort. Today we will see whether the Russians are willing also to engage. That's now being tested.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Looking forward to that. Thank you.